Should I tell my boss I don't have any more work to do? When we're all working a job, we all run into a situation to where we need more work. We need a boss to assign us something. We need to figure out work for ourselves. We need to do something. But ultimately, there comes a time in a lot of places to where, I don't know if you've experienced it, but I certainly have, to where I don't have any more work. And I have to make a decision. Do I ask and say, hey, boss, do you have any more work for me to do? Or you just shrug and say, I guess I'll just hang out here and see if anything comes up. Maybe somebody will assign me something. Oh, I can't do any work if nobody gives me any work to do. You know, and people do that sort of thing. We encounter this ethical dilemma, and it happens to pretty much everybody that I've ever encountered, that at one point or another, you do have to make a decision. And so we have this posting on Reddit. Should I tell my boss I don't have any work? I'm an assistant in an office. It's part-time and gives me flexibility to go to school. Okay, before we continue, that's an important factor. So whenever we're talking about some sort of job, we always have to consider the variables. So we have this person who's an assistant in an office, which means they're probably there to answer the phones or something stupid like that. It's part-time and gives me flexibility to go to school. Okay, so they're part-time, so the expectation is very low. And they're going to school with me, which means they're not really pushing for you to do a lot of things. The problem is I don't receive any work. I go days without anything touching my desk because I'm just there to help and nobody needs help. I walk around and ask everyone if there's anything I could do for them. It's always a no. This wouldn't be a problem if my manager didn't stop by to check on me multiple times a day. I pretend to be doing something, clicking my mouse and typing on the keyboard. But I'm wondering if I should tell my manager there isn't any work for me. She can't just create some if the staff doesn't have any. So I can't suggest work I could be doing. I don't want to progress higher in the job because this is just a part-time job while I'm in school. But I seriously can't take this boredom anymore. And I don't know the consequences of telling her I have nothing to do every day. Well, here's what's going to happen. Eventually, your manager is going to find out that you're not doing anything. And eventually your manager is going to say, man, that's not cool. Why did you do that? I now am concerned about you. I am now concerned that you're not doing any work and that you haven't been doing it this whole time. So I have no choice but to let you go. But there is the other half of that dilemma, right? The other half of the other side of the coin, where if you say something, then they're going to be like, oh yeah, I've been waiting for you to ask for a long time. And I've got this and this and this for you to do. Now, there's a third possibility, and it's actually very likely could be the case here. It happens a lot when you have younger people with part-time people, with people in school, is that employers, managers don't want to give you a lot of work. They don't want to depend on you. You're generally there to be available in case they need it. Actually, I'm going to guess, just guess, that they answer the phone. That they are answering the phone and that they are helping out in that way, but they don't consider it important. Because that's what happens to a lot of us. We think the work that we're doing has no value. We think that it provides no value at all to the company whatsoever, because what we're doing is so easy. And that's where the problem is. The problem is I bet this person is sitting there and is there so they can take phone calls. And so that third possibility I spoke of earlier is that the manager might just say, yeah, I know you don't have a lot of work. You're here to answer the phone. And frankly, it's good experience for you. And we like having you here. It makes us feel good that we're helping you. It could be that it's all fine. But what if this wasn't a part-time position? What if you weren't in school? What if this was a full-time position? I don't know, maybe as a concept artist or a designer. Let's just go with design. You're a designer and you have no work to do. Let's just say, do you think the employer would be happy if you said, oh, yeah, I didn't know I didn't have any work to do, so I just been sitting here. Do you think they'd be happy? Let's just play this out just a little bit. If you had somebody come to you and say, I don't have any work, I would really like some more work to do. You're going to be like, oh, okay, all right, awesome. If you're a manager and you find out that your employee after a month hasn't been doing anything, you're probably not going to be real happy. And not because you're mad at them, not because their person, your person, and you're angry at them because they're costing the company money. No, 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 no. It's just a lack of trust. And that's what this is about. Whenever you ask for more work, you're building trust with your supervisor. You're building trust with your manager that you are actually doing work and that things are going well and that you're invested in helping. But this person, this part-time person in school, could be doing the same thing. They can find a broom. They can sweep the floor. They can maybe tidy things up a little bit. They can organize organize the supply closet. There are lots of things that could be done. You have to, in these cases, take initiative. So either you need to ask for work or you need to find something to do. But I think, especially right now with the economy the way it is, we all have this fantasy that we're going to work a job where we clock into work remotely and we don't do anything. We just sit there and they pay us $100,000 a year and we don't do anything. We don't take phone calls. Actually, we just sit and watch TV or play, I don't know, we play Call of Duty every day. And I think that's a fantasy for a lot of people because other people have been posting on the internet, yeah, all I do is just sit here. And other people say, yeah, I want that too. It sounds good until you're the person who's doing it. It may be okay for a little bit, but it's not going to last forever. And you're not going to last forever. And the dream of working for nothing will soon lose its glamour after a while. And so this is really a cultural issue. A cultural issue where people believe that they want a job where they do nothing and they get paid for it. And there certainly is, a lot of fantasy when it comes to that. Certainly some people are experiencing that. I have had plenty of job seekers who currently have that and actually have been fired because people found out they weren't working. And there are lots of software. Large companies have developed software where they track how many keystrokes you make per minute or how many times you click the mouse. Why? Because they know if you're working remote, if they know that you're around, that there's a possibility you may not be doing work. Now, this is a little bit different because the person is in the office. When the manager is checking, what you should do, what I would suggest this person do, if I were in this situation, is in the morning when I show up, or whatever it is, I go and I find the manager. I say, look, I've been running out of work to do. I've been trying to keep busy. I've been answering the phones, but I feel like there's a way I might be able to contribute more. Is there anything else that I can do? And this is important in the workplace because if you are the one to initiate the conversation, it goes, generally speaking, goes well for you. If you sit there and you wait for the manager to show up and start asking questions, it generally doesn't go well for you at all. And so while you might be enjoying it for a little bit, it's going to go sour for you if you don't do something about it. The other part about this that I haven't talked about is to say, I don't know, this is just a part-time job while I'm in school. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. You don't know that. You don't know that. They might be thinking, man, this person is a great, awesome person, and we want to hire them full time. But they're not going to do that if you don't work hard. Now, maybe they only plan on this person ever being like an administrative assistant or something. In that case, probably don't want to stick around. But if they're in HR or they're in accounting or marketing, then what they need to do is they need to take the opportunity to say, hey, I'm in this major, I'm an HR major. I realize we're in HR office. I realize I'm just here part-time, but I would really like to learn more about the career that I have chosen. And so that's another thing. You need to be looking at what can you learn, maybe not actually doing any of the work, but just being exposed to it. Maybe just being in on the meetings or something of that nature. There's always something that you can learn. And the less work that you have to do, the more opportunity you have to learn. But what's the real issue here? The real issue is that we have somebody who is very concerned. We have somebody who's sounds like they're probably a pretty good person that doesn't want to do anything that's unethical. They want to do things the right way. They might not know why, but if they're concerned about it, then they're feeling a little guilty. And that's a sign that they actually want to do good. They want to do well. They want to do things the right way. And so what's actually going on here is this person's just plain feeling guilty. They know that they shouldn't be working for free. They're tired of lying. They're tired of cheating. They're tired of being a bad employee. But it could all be solved. It could all be solved just by you. Just walk into the office the next day and say, I've been without work for a while and I would really like some work, something that can help me in my career. And once you do that, once you take initiative, once you show who you are as a person, that you have concern, you might even go deep. You might even just go full all in and say, look, I haven't been doing any work. I'm feeling guilty about not doing any work. And I really, really would like to know how I can, in what other way can I contribute? And if you go this deep, if you have the right manager will be like, that's awesome of you. And I appreciate that. And because of that, we're going to get you a full-time job. And that does happen. That does happen to people. That's actually the number one reason to take entry-level or part-time work. I remember I had a part-time job as a sales analyst. I would look at sales data and I would pull it from a database. I'd pull the data and then I would put it into an Excel spreadsheet, into a pivot table. These guys were great guys to work with. I really liked working with them, but I was only part-time. But they liked the work that I did. They liked me to the point to where if I'd stuck around, I probably could have got a full-time job with them, but I didn't. Just like many other instances in my life, I probably made the wrong choice. But that happens to all of us. We all make good choices. We all make bad choices. But this is a situation to where you have this person as an administrative assistant or assistant in the office, I suppose, maybe not administrative assistant, to where they could be providing value. And it could just be a super long interview process where they find out if you're somebody they want or not. Because finding a great job and finding opportunity in the workplace is not about having a piece of paper. It's not from having the piece of paper from the college. It's about finding the right people that you're compatible with, that you can communicate with, that are willing to lift you up into a position of value. That's it for today. I'm SP Graham. This is Jobferno. If you have any questions, just send me an email at questions@jobferno.com. And as always, choose skills over money.